Today on Let's Fish TV, join me, Andrew Upshaw, my buddy Frank from Coastal Blue Persuasion. We're in Gulf Shores, Alabama. We're going after as many species of fish as we can catch today. Guys, today's episode is gonna be one you don't wanna miss. We're gonna be full of fish catches and a lot of fun. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That's a big one right there.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
You ever caught a fish that big?
No!
Got it.
Of the day. There you go. Another redfish. Got him. Now, that's what Let's Fish TV is all about right there, guys. Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Today we're gonna be targeting a bunch of different species of fish with a really cool technique that I learned years and years ago called split shotting. We're gonna be drifting in and around cover, catching a variety of species of fish. We're not targeting one specific species, but just as many bites as we can get. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. Meantime, we're gonna get out there and get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hey everybody, these salooner tables are indicating fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Activity begins around 8:29 Saturday and 9:18 on Sunday morning. The best evening action will begin at 8:53 on Saturday and 9:41 Sunday. Depending on your location, the sun will rise around 6:28 and set around 8:23, and evenings will have a moon that is 77% visible. Make sure to stay in the loop with Let's Fish TV's latest fishing adventures and tips by joining us on Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
All right guys, today we're headed out in Gulf Shores, Alabama. We're gonna go after a couple of different species of fish. We're gonna attempt to get the Alabama Slam, the inshore slam, which is a flounder, redfish, and trout. But if that doesn't pan out, we're gonna go out near shore basically and go try to catch some fish off a couple of different wrecks. So we got a game plan in mind. We're gonna go see if we can get it done today in Gulf Shores, Alabama. We'll see y'all here in just a second.
Their brain is right there, that black spot. So their horn hooks on right there. I like hooking them under the horn, but not in the brain. That way he'll stay good and lively. So you're going about halfway between the eye and the brain. Just make sure that barb comes all the way out.
Sweet.
There's one. I don't think it's anything but a little bait fish maybe. Or a flounder. We should have the net out already. A little undersized.
There we go. Did you get you one?
That was that odd bite I kept having back there.
Oh, is that what it was?
And I had to just feed it to him.
These flounder are some of the funkiest looking fish you can catch.
You know, when they're born, they have an eye on the opposite side. And it migrates around as they start becoming mature. Yeah.
Well, this is first fish of the day. It's flounder. And you were just split shotting a shrimp right there.
That's right, just drifting down through there.
You know, the water's a little dirtier right now. We got the tides coming in, so it should push some cleaner water in the rest of the day. But in this situation, we're just trying to get some bites, to generate some bites, and sometimes you gotta change up a little bit. You know, I'm actually tying on a new bait by Strike King, which is this is just a little shrimp that we make that's got a jump tail, basically. So anytime you pull it through the water, it actually has a piece of fabric in there that will actually keep it to where it won't get ripped off by the teeth of these fish. And you can rig it two different ways. You can either have the hook coming out here and it'll actually jump it, or you can actually just fish it along the bottom. I have it rigged this way this time. And I went with a little more natural approach because it does kind of look more like the shrimp. We'll see what happens though.
Those flakes with a bright day like that, that ought to give you a little bit of shine too.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Freeman Toyota. Whether you need pre-owned, new cars, trucks, or SUVs, Freeman has the vehicle you want at a price you'll like. Now this week we're going back to the future. That is, back to the future of Texas, fishing at Bodark Lake, and we're going to catch some crappie. The crappie are on the trees. The issue is there are millions of trees. You'll never be able to fish them all unless you have some assistance, and that is the active target system, your forward-facing sonar. Use that to find the trees on the main lake that are holding crappie right now. Drop down with your jigs and minnows and you'll catch plenty of fish. It's fairly easy to catch them. It's finding them that can be a little difficult. So again, main lake, trees, forward facing, and you're in business. Now out at Allen Henry, the bass are on fire and you'll want to fish main lake points around the creek mouths. Start early in the morning with the top water, work your way down through the water column with your ochos and spinnerbaits, and be ready to fish those bluff rocks with your shaky heads and your jig and pig in your very natural colors. Your watermelons and your greens are going to work on Allen Henry bass. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
There he is. There's one.
Got one?
Yep, that's a better fish. No, he ain't real big.
10-inch
So hey,
trout?
he's about that third pyramid right there. Same size.
Yeah. Ooh, I'll put it right on it. I need to drop down and just go, dong, and be a big old redfish.
So we'll go about that third dorsal fin. Pop that little tag. It's got a number to call. It's got a unique number to that tag. One
That's
day,
pretty cool.
you'll grow up to be a big monster.
I've never seen one tag before. I think that's
Really?
probably one of the cooler things I've seen. You know, so today we're here in Gulf Shores and we're fishing for the inshore slam. You know, Frank's already got him a flounder and a trout, so he's 2/3 the way there, but we're gonna talk about that here in just a little while.
There he is.
That little red, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's,
I think it's a little red. Well, this is a trout. Oh, that's a pretty
trout.
good spec right there.
there we go. On the old popping cork.
Look, he won't be by himself in there either. Ethan, I was right where you pulled yours from.
Now that's not a bad one there. That's a little better than Easton's 11-incher earlier.
I would agree.
So far you've had a flounder and a trout. You know, the one cool thing is what he's doing here is he's actually tagging this fish. And up until this point, I've never seen a fish tag. So when you're tagging these, how big do they have to be?
Usually they've got to be about 12 inches to get a tag in, just because they're so small and you got to have enough muscle up on top.
That's really cool. They go right in. That's awesome. And you actually had, last year you had somebody catch one, you tagged a bull red, and they caught it 8 miles away the next day.
That's right.
It just goes to show you how far, first off, how far these fish actually swim, and secondly, how catch and release is so effective, and knowing that you're able to go catch the same fish again and somebody else can go enjoy it. So there's times that you want to keep them and eat them, but there's other times you want to throw them back, and in this situation we're throwing it back because that was about a 14-incher.
14 exactly.
Yep. So you know, they have to be 15 inches to keep here, and they can only be 15 to 22. Am I right there?
That's right.
And you
And
can have
one oversized.
one oversized. So make sure if you do come to this area, the Gulf Shores area, you pay attention to the regulation. Follow that regulation to a T, otherwise you can get a ticket, so don't do that. So I'm gonna get back to it. It's time for me to pick up my plopping cork, and hopefully I catch me a nice trout or redfish here in just a minute.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Loran's, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism. Let's fish on Alabama's beaches. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion.
What you got?
Oh, big flounder. Get that
Oh,
net.
there's a big flounder.
Grab net, Ethan.
I got it.
There's one.
Here we
That's
go.
a better fish right there.
What you got?
Oh, big flounder. Get that
Oh,
net.
there's a big flounder.
Grab net, Easton.
I got it.
Ready?
Oh, go back.
Head first.
There we go.
Attaboy.
There we go. That's a good flounder there now. That's what I'm talking about.
That's actually a keeping size.
Heck yeah. Today, guys, we're at Gulf Shores. We're actually fishing an offshore wreck. This particular spot, we've caught mangrove snapper, we caught a trout, and now a big flounder. You know, this is a really cool area because you have so much variety. You can come out of the bay, come out and fish, you know, offshore structure, or you can go in the bay, fish really shallow water. We've done a little bit of both today. Caught a bunch of trout this morning. Had a little cold snap come in and it kind of knocked the fish back a little bit. So we came out here and kind of adapted, you know, and you got to adapt when you're on the water and figure out where they're biting. Anytime those cold weather systems come in, you have to adjust. And what we did today is we came out here on some stuff that maybe the weather didn't affect the fish as much. And when you get off the bank, that's when you really start catching them. So, man, an awesome flounder though. Free lining a shrimp.
That's exactly right.
So that's really a good one.
Look at that mouth.
Hey, I'd give you $5 you put your finger in there. I'm gonna get re-rigged. I broke off just now, so I'm gonna get re-rigged and hopefully I get me a nice flounder.
There you go.
Matt Pangrak here with the Bass Talk Live podcast, and this is your weekly Oklahoma fishing report. Guys, we have had a lot of rainfall in the state of Oklahoma, along with some pretty serious storms, but with that rainfall comes rising water, and one of the most fun ways to catch those fish when those lakes rise is to get up in the willows, is to get up in the bushes. And right now, one of the lakes that's up in the bushes is Lake Eufaula in central Oklahoma. Lake Eufaula is a 100,000 acre lake, but one of the cool things that you can do when that lake gets 3-4 foot high is you can get up into the bushes, into the willow trees, and take a creature bait, a Texas rigged creature bait, with a 1/2 ounce Texas rigged weight on it, flip it around and catch those bass that are moving off of the beds and up into that flooded willows to eat shad and to eat bluegill. So when the water is up, Lake Eufaula right now, great place to go catch some fish out of the flooded timber and the flooded buckbrush and the flooded willows. Hey, to learn more about not only bass fishing in Oklahoma, but across the country, check out the BTL podcast every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time on the BTL YouTube channel.
Right. Oh.
There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, good fish.
Had to let him load up. Oh, I got his sheep's head.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you say you hadn't caught one of these?
I have not caught one of these. They're hard fighting fish though.
Bad little sheep's head.
Here we go.
Caught a boar.
That's what I'm talking about. I've just always wanted to see their teeth. So far today, we've caught flounder, we've caught croaker, we've caught trout, and mangrove snapper, and now a sheep's head. I just wonder how many we'll catch in a day. Like how many different species? What's the most you've caught in a day?
Usually 13, 12 and 13 happens a lot. Like from
really?
one little spot without all that running around.
That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is the funkiest teeth.
Look, you put the hook in there right, it's not easy to hook these things. You put it like in the only place in there that's got the flesh.
Heck yeah. Well, he bit it about 27 times right there.
Yeah, and just like you said, you let him load up.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty cool fish right there.
Cool looking.
What's the biggest one of those you've caught?
10 and a half.
Wow. So they get that big.
Yeah, they'll get to be studs.
That's awesome. Guys, if you come to Gulf Shores, you never know what you're going to catch, but I can promise you one thing, you're going to catch some fish. What that means to me, though, is I got to get another shrimp on, and it's time to catch another one because I just got broke off.
The one before that, he was way bigger than
Yeah, I just got broke off by a fish, and it's been 3 casts in a row that I've caught one, so it's shrimp time and fishing time.
Teeth only a dentist could love.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Powerful, total boat control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
That's a better fish right there.
Oh, big sheepfish.
There we
It's
go.
a little bigger than that last one.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, today we're in Gulf Shores, Alabama. You know, this is a really cool place. This is a place that I would bring my family day in and day out for a vacation, because not only is it a tourist destination as far as the beaches. I mean, the beach is one of the cleanest beaches I've ever been to, but also a lot of great fishing. You know, on this particular trip, we're doing a lot of different fishing, and just goes to show you the variety that you have here in Gulf Shores. I got one on right now. There we go. What do I got now? Spanish mackerel. There we go. There we go. Oh, Lee. There's a little bluefish, okay.
Another species.
Another species. But you know, we're gonna go after the inshore slam. We're gonna go after some sharks, which is gonna be awesome. Going after tuna. So it just goes to show you, no matter what you do here in this area, you're gonna be able to target a bunch of different species of fish. You know, last year we actually had a show shot out of Mobile Bay by Patrick Garmison, actually catching jacks on topwater. So the options are limitless here in Gulf Shores, and it just goes to show you, no matter what, you can get bit doing a bunch of different things. And today, that's our, what, 5th or 6th species of fish. Gulf Shores is where it's at, guys. You need to come check out this area. It is full of fish and full of fun. We had some great food last night. I could go on and on and talk about it, but I need to get back to fishing. We'll see y'all here in just a second.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with this week's Let's Fish Report. I tell you what, coming to you from Calcasieu Lake, Cajun Paradise Charters. We're going to start out right here on the saltwater scene on Calcasieu Lake. Lots of speckled trout, lots of redfish. I'll tell you what, when the winds die down, the trout are under the birds everywhere right now. Lots of shrimp in the lake, lots of good sized trout, soft plastic 1/8 and 1/4 ounce Rockport Rattler jig heads on some down south. Soft plastic seems to be the key right there. Tell you what, redfish, when the wind blows, we most of the time go red fishing. Live shrimp under a popping cork, look for a little moving water. Fish points or isolated islands, I'll tell you what, great catches of redfish. Freshwater side right now, lots of crappie moving to deep water. Toledo Bend, they're tearing up the crappie, 20 to 30 feet of water, mainly on brush piles. Tell you what, if you got the scans, you can find some underwater logs. Seems to be doing great there. Both live shiners and light tube jigs seems to be the key. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing, may God bless, and we're gonna see you next week. Let's fish.
That's a better fish right there. There we go. That's another sheep's head, I think. There we go, guys.
Oh, big sheepfish.
There we
It's
go.
a little bigger than that last one.
Heck yeah.
Had a boy.
Dude, it didn't as much make it to the bottom right there, and that thing chomped on it. That's what I'm talking about. It's definitely better than that other one.
That's a good heavy fish. Look, see how much skin you got hooked on.
Oh yeah. Guys, today I want to talk to you about one thing. You know, we're out here with Frank from Coastal Blue Persuasion, but one thing that Frank has done that has impressed me more than anything, that maybe any trip that I have been on with a guide, is he's never given up. He has worked hard to put us on fish. We've adapted all day long until we landed on the fish. And if you want an amazing trip, you need to come out here with Frank. Not only does he do a lot of stuff as far as redfish and trout and flounder, but he also does a lot of snapper trips in the summer. Guys, if you want a trip of a lifetime here in Gulf Shores, you need to come check out Frank. I promise you, he is one of the hardest working guys that I've had in a boat in quite some time. Reminds me of myself bass fishing, you know, never gives up, always adapting, and that's what it's all about here on the water. So guys, if you come to Gulf Shores, this is the man to check out. There we go. There we go. Doubled up the shrimp, double up the size. That's what I'm talking about. Another sheep's head. Is it? Yep. Yep. There we go.
Boy, flip around a little bit bigger than that.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, that right there is the icing on the cake, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. All right, so we're at the end of the day. You know, if you've ever fished out here in saltwater, one thing is for sure, you start running out of bait. And we're literally on our last 6 shrimp, and all of them were little bitty baby shrimp. So one thing I learned from Cajun Phil, and you know Cajun Phil from my reports in Louisiana, is instead of just using 1 shrimp, I actually doubled up and put 2 shrimp on my hook at one time, just trying to generate that one last big bite for y'all to see. Was it a giant? No, but it was bigger than anything else I was catching. And that is one of the biggest keys that you can ever have, is if you start running low on bait, double it up. Don't be afraid to have a really big bait out there, because what I have learned from fishing in freshwater, the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lake Hartwell Country, catch the feeling. Lose, feel the difference. Strike King, tie one on. And by Glacier Outdoor, outdoors since 1982. Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today off the coast of Gulf Shores, we used one particular technique to catch our fish, and that is a split shot rig. You know, the split shot rig has been around for a really long time. It's actually one of the very first techniques I ever learned to do for bass, and we used it today, and it makes it even more special. You know, attached to it, we're using a Kell hook. This is a really small hook with 2 split shots. You know, I started the day with 1 split shot, and I ended the day with 2 split shots. And the reason is the tide started ripping out, and it started moving my bait too quickly. Attached to this was a live shrimp. You know, it actually seemed like the bigger the shrimp, the bigger the bites and the more bites I got. As we got to smaller shrimp, I actually had to start doubling up the shrimp in size just to try to get extra big bites. You know, as far as the rod and reel combo I was using a 7.6 medium heavy, moderate fast action inshore speed stick with a size 400 custom inshore spinning reel. Attached to that, I was using 10-pound tour grade braid, yellow in color. I like that yellow color to be able to detect bites, and it definitely was a big key today. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. You know, why I was using braided line. That tide was ripping so hard that there was almost virtually impossible to keep your line as tight as you needed to keep it to actually feel the bites. But that braid, I could feel those subtle bites, and I was able to keep tightening until the point of where I actually got to set the hook. But one big key is actually having a fluorocarbon leader, and I don't think necessarily the fluorocarbon is so the fish can't see it, but it's more abrasion resistant than that 10-pound braid. I was using a 25-pound Strike King tour grade fluorocarbon leader just to help minimize losing those fish. But guys, today it has been an absolute blast. We caught so many different species of fish, I think 7 or 8 different ones. It was a phenomenal day. I cannot wait to come back. And until next time, I'll see you on the water.